Coming up on today's video, some cards you should be watching. Hi everyone, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to my channel, welcome aboard. I hope you enjoyed this content today. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do, helps the channel grow, helps us get closer to 6,000 subscribers. Looking to see you all there. And of course, to all my regular viewers, welcome back everyone. It's epic to see everyone here each and every day in the comment sections, on the Patreon, and of course on Discord. Alright guys, let's take a look at some amazing cards in the reserve list. Now, some of these cards are going up, some are going down. Depending on what you're looking for, you might want to know about this information. Let's take a look at card number 1. Just a reminder, everyone, before I get started, this is not a finance channel. I am not a financial advisor. I didn't graduate Magic University. I can't help you. This is purely for entertainment purposes, and all comments should be considered as such. So, Tolarian Academy, Urza Saga, awesome card. This card is going right now for $175 Canadian. You can find some heavily played copies locally for around the $100 mark. The average is $166.19. The market is $189.83, and it's €118. Now, this card at one point is around $300 for a pretty much nice near mint copy. It's been going below that now. You can see the dip there falling below the $200 mark. This card will become unbanned, in my estimation, at some point in the near future. If they can unban Time Vault, they can unban a card like Tolarian Academy. They got other cards like Gaia's Cradle they still allow in play, so it just makes sense. There's other land destruction that can blow this thing up. It's something to keep your eye on. When you're looking at cards to invest in, cards you want to own, and you're just not sure if it'll go up in value or not, buy the card because you love the card. But the potential for value on this particular card, in my estimation, is very high in the future. If not now, somewhere down the line. Let's take a look at our next card today, and that's going to be Null Rod. Null Rod, again, Weatherlight, amazing card. I remember when we did the box opening here, and we opened ourselves a near mint Null Rod. Totally awesome. Now, this card is around $115 Canadian for heavily played, $160 for a near mint copy, at $128.70 for the average, $127.09 for the market, €86 will get you this card. Again, a card that was up high that has fallen below that mark. Now, having to get this card myself, I realize it's an amazing card, a lot of playability, and a very low casting cost. This card eventually will go back up on the next buyouts. It's something to keep an eye out for. And if you were trying to buy this card, this isn't a bad time to buy it now that it's really dipping below its averages. So let's take a look at our next card. Null Rod, by the way, good card. All right, our next one up is going to be a Zhalfirin Crusader. Now, only $3.50 Canadian for a near mint copy. The average is $2.78. The market is $2.65 and €1.34. But this card has flanking. Okay, a really old ability, especially from Visions, where as soon as you assign a blocker, it gets -1/-1. So in some cases, it doesn't even get to block, really, it just died. But this card has the ability to redirect damage from the Crusader to a target creature or player. So you can actually redirect this all over the place, depending on how much mana you have available and how much pump up you can put on this guy to keep him alive. This is an underestimated card that can be a lot of fun in Commander, so keep your eyes out for this guy, because I know I picked up a couple myself. He's a fun guy for a cheap amount. Why not? Good luck, Crusader. Envelopable Garden is from Visions. Now, this card has had a massive fall from its highs of around the $150 Canadian mark. You can see it's about half that now. $80 Canadian will get you a near mint copy. The average is €64.75. The market is $60.69, and you can get it for €43. Now, this card is a very cheap casting cost. It's a very decent card to have in your deck. Having players skip their discard phase is always nice, and being able to draw the additional cards is awesome. So please remember, a card like this that's this old will not stay down here forever. If you're a person who hasn't got a copy, this is a great time to buy this copy when it's this far down on the chain of events. A great card to have in Commander, a great card to have in general for its epic artwork and old style. Way to go, Envelopable Garden. You are amazing, and I'm glad to see you fall a little bit. For those players now have the opportunity to grab this card. You can get it cheaper, by the way, for a moderately played or a heavy played copy around the $60 mark, so take a look if you're looking for that price range. Now, when we're taking a look at Undiscovered Paradise, you can find this card for $30 Canadian near mint. The average is $27.66. The market is $27.76. 20 euro gets you this card, basically 21 euro. Now, when you're looking at Undiscovered Paradise, remember, it has been dipping as well, and I'm not sure why. It's an amazing card, lots of playability, and a lot of formats. And you can keep bringing it back. You can cycle it. There's things you can do to make this card really work in a deck. You can look those up on different websites and different ideas, but Undiscovered Paradise is amazing. When I check this on platforms like eBay, you could find a near mint copy shipped to your door for 30 bucks Canadian, which means you're talking 25, 26 bucks American. Guys, an amazing card that is very underrated. I appreciate this card. I have a couple of copies already, so I don't really need any. After you get your play set, you're like, I've got enough. But this card, for people who may want it for the commander deck, especially for a multicolor deck, I can understand why you might want to go after it. So you can go for heavily played copies for less than the $30 mark. So it's something to keep an eye on. If you just want a playable card, grab it. Mishra's Workshop Antiquities. Guys, old school, powerful card. For those who didn't know, this card taps to add 3 colorless mana to your mana pool. That beast out there is only used to play artifacts, but who cares? It's 3 mana on a land. It is amazing. Now, being an old card like this, guys, you have to understand this is a low print run. 31,000 copies were ever made. How many are left in existence? Who really knows? That's why this card is $5,100 Canadian for a moderately played copy. It was the cheapest I could find. The average is $45.70 US. The market is $4,100 US. 1,900 euro, let's just say 2,000 euro will get you this card. It's an expensive endeavor to step into the world of power cards like this. But Mishra's Workshop is definitely worth the time and effort because of what it can do and the fact it can be played in multiple formats. You can still use it in Commander. It's an amazing card. Mishra's Workshop, you're awesome. And although I don't own you, one day I hope to. Mishra's Workshop, respect, man. Amazing card, everyone. Diamond Valley is an old school Arabian Nights card. Guys, this card is $941 Canadian for a heavily played copy. The average is $1,039.20 US. The market is $799.94 US. And of course, 450 euro. But let's delve into this card. Let's talk about it. It is 21,000 print run. That means there's only 21,000 ever made of this card, and it's reserve list, and it's never coming back. That's why the prices are where they are. This card is not the most powerful card out there, but it does have a useful effect depending on how you build your deck. Tapping to sacrifice one of your creatures to exchange it for life totals equal to the creature's toughness is pretty cool, and you can do it after you've blocked. So you can block with a creature and then sack it and gain some life. If it's going to die anyway, why not? Diamond Valley doesn't tap for mana, but there's ways around that nowadays with other lands that turn everything into a basic as well. So it's a good card, it's old school, and it's expensive. And it's only going to go up as people realize how rare this card really is. Now, when we're talking about Halfdane, Halfdane got played against me so much when I was a kid when Legends came out. I had a couple of friends who had pulled these from packs. They abused me all the time because he copies creatures' powers. He's pretty awesome. If not, he's still a 3/3 for 4, which was pretty epic back in the day. He is from Legends. He's only $87 for a Canadian light played copy. The average is $115.72 US. The market is $102.94 US. And 72 euro 50 cent will get you this card. You can see he's actually going up a little bit. I checked it out. There has been quite a few sales in this particular card. So if you have a copy that's in decent shape, I would definitely hold on to it. The stronger sales happen in the Italian copies right now as people try to get some of these ancient cards, these old school powerful favorites, but at a more reasonable price. So over the years and the Italian copies start to disappear, the price for this is going to go even higher. It's definitely something to pay attention to. Guardian Beast Arabian Nights. We're swinging in with some heavy hitters today, everyone. This card again is having stronger sales than expected. The cheapest copy I could find was $1,090 for a light played Canadian copy. The average was $1,295 US. The market is $849 US, and 516 euro gets you this card. Now, the Guardian Beast is an old school favorite of mine from Arabian Nights. I used to have a heavy artifact deck, and this guy could keep all my artifacts alive as long as he remains untapped. He's a 2/4 creature for 4, although a lot of us thought he used to cost 1. You can see on the screen, you can barely see the 3. So we used to, the first couple times, I think I cast him for 1 before we caught on that he actually had a higher casting cost. But again, with a print run of only 20,700, less than 21,000, this card will continue to rise in value and become more and more expensive when people realize the attrition rate of these old school cards. It's really become apparent, especially with Saldevi Excavations, that there just isn't many of these cards out there. It's less than people think, and it's pretty scary. So Guardian Beast, you can keep guarding us, keep us safe. The Guardian Beast is an amazing card, and I expect him to go a lot higher in the years to come. Now, Replenish comes from Urza's Destiny. At $145 Canadian for a near mint copy, it's had a bit of a dip, which is great for people trying to grab this card for commander decks. Returning all enchantment cards from your graveyard to play is crazy nowadays when you have things like Theros Beyond Death and the old Theros, all kinds of enchantment creature cards. This card, its playability for its casting cost is just sick. Its average is $119.01. The market is $123.02 US. A foil copy, because this is one of the early, like the first time foils, $1,000 US. The European average is €86.71. Guys, crazy to think that this card has dipped this low when its playability is so high in Commander and other formats. I've seen this thing get played and brought out, and all kinds of monstrous creature creations and enchantments came back from the graveyard. It was disgusting to see, and thank goodness I was not on the receiving end of that brutal attack that followed from the army of enchantments that came back with Replenish. So if this is a card you're looking for, I can see why you might try to grab it now as it continues to dip down a little bit. But remember, sales are on the rebound on this card. There are people buying it in foreign languages. Keep your eyes out, because this card could spike back up before you know it. Now, our next card coming up is going to be, and I hate pronouncing this one, Palinchron. I'm just going to say it's Palinchron. Urza's Legacy again. This card is kind of one of those cool, funny cards. Yeah, it costs 7. But when it comes into play, you untap 7 lands. You can also return it to your hand, so it's very hard to kill if somebody's trying to take it out. It is a 4/5, which may not seem as powerful as you'd think, but the mana supply being replenished by using this card and its unsummon ability, for such a weird card, it has quite a high playability factor. At $79 Canadian for a moderately played copy, this card has dipped massively in the last 12 months. It's been crazy how far it's come down from its all-time highs of around the $140 Canadian mark I saw it at. You can see the average is $83.01. The market is $93.59. The foil is around $850 US. The European average is €55.50. It's a powerful card. It's something to keep an eye on. I do expect it to rise in value over time, but because it's one of those niche cards that you have to build a deck around to unsummon, bring back, and work out the land cycle for your deck, I can see why not that many people use it right now, but never underestimate cards like this. They can return with a vengeance. Now, our last card we're showing off today is going to be Time Spiral from Urza's Saga. I myself bought my copy for $205 Canadian for a near mint copy, $175 Canadian for a moderately played copy right now. The average is €207.15. The market is €237.35, and €132 will get you this card. It is still slightly dipping down. I'd love to see it fall further to allow other players to grab this card. Again, it is a recycle time twister type card, but you get to untap those lands, which is just amazing for cards like this. So keep that in mind. Again, if it's built in the right way in your commander deck or in a vintage legacy deck, this card can have devastating effects on people. Urza's Saga was just a broken set, and this is a broken card within that set. It's an amazing card, something to keep an eye out if it's a card you're after. If you already have one, don't worry about it. I have my one copy. I'm more than happy with that. Very, very disgusting cards, right? So, now that I've showed you all these cards, let me straighten up here. Now that I've showed you all those cards and you've seen all that craziness out there, I hope you had a great time watching the video today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. It was a great time for me to be able to bring these cards to you because a lot of them are on the dip. They're kind of going down. And for players who are out there trying to grab some of these cards, you might have forgotten that they're available now at a lower price. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Please leave those comments in the comments section. I'm looking forward to speaking to everyone. Have a great day today. This is MTG Moxman. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hey everyone, big shout out to all my patrons out there. Thanks again to all my patrons for their continued support. There are so many of you guys who I look forward to talking to every day. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to continue this YouTube channel. It's amazing. Thanks again to everyone who makes it possible. Have a great day today. Patrons rock. That's right, Saldevi Excavations from Alliances. 0 available in near mint condition in Canada. And the ones that are available are way overpriced. The average is $35.19 US. The market is $29.02, and it's finally moved up on the euro to €20. Guys, this card has climbed past the $40 mark. Okay, it is going up, and it's hard to see it coming back down. When I say $40, of course, I'm talking Canadian, because I just can't find any copies now. I'll be keeping my eyes out, of course, to see what will happen. But this card's not done yet. I think people will start looking around some bulk bins, some stock, and find it, but the attrition rate is so much higher than I expected. Let me just shrink this, because I do this stuff live, you know. This is insane to think about how far this card has already come in the 10 days since that last video. It's nuts. I'll be curious to see what will happen now in the next 60 to 90 days. Some of the other channels I watch said it's going to fall back down, but not if people aren't selling back into the market. If you don't get sold back into the market and you hold the card, it stays higher. The attrition rate's what's getting me, is how high that card's attrition rate is insane to think about. So let's keep an eye on this card. Let me know if you guys find any near mint copies wherever you are, and please let me know about it in the comment section's fine. It's awesome. And guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope everyone had an awesome day. I put Saldevi at the end because that way most people don't watch to the end and only the secret people get to know what's going on. It's crazy. I'm still waiting for copies to show up in the mail. Can't wait to see how many show up, and we'll do a mail day. It's going to be awesome. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day today. Yeah. Saldevi.